Hey guys, Jason here. I've got 4 glute strengthening exercises as an alternative to the mini band, so you can give it a flick. So we've got the split stance hip hinge. So you guys know that we love teaching a hip hinge here. This is a split stance variation, so this is going to cross over into walking, running, training in the gym and those type of patterns. So to measure, you want to kneel down and your back knee should be in line with the front toes on your front foot, all right? So that's your measure there. And then what we're going to slowly do is making sure we're in a posterior tilt so our glutes are on. We start to shift our hips back as our upper body dives forward. Our knee is softening but not moving forwards. And then we're just diving over into this position here. So we're getting some length through these glute tissues here. Feeling a little bit of a stretch through my hamstring, but I've got sensation through my foot as well. So I'm feeling for even distribution between my big toe, little toe and heel. So the reason that we're doing these instead of the band, I'm not saying that the band are bad exercises, but these are going to transfer more into if you're training in the gym, if you're running, walking, if you're an athlete. You're going to get better results and you're going to get a more well-rounded biomechanical effect from these training exercises. So we're holding in this hinge and then we can slowly start to stand up. We're squeezing the glute now and pushing our hips through this way. So we're making sure the hips shifting forward as if we were to walk through and take a step. All right, so going back into that position, we're set up, our hips start to shift back, pushing back that way, not dropping towards the floor as my upper body dives forward. I'm keeping my core engaged, so I'm in neutral spine. So if you look to the side here, if you've got a mirror, you want to keep your spine nice and straight there, not locked into extension like this, and not really hunched. So you want to be in that neutral position where your ribs are down, your core's engaged, but you should really feel this glute. So I'm just holding here and I can feel my glutes getting activated. I'm not letting it bow out. I'm not letting my knee fall in. So my knee is tracking over my second and third toe. Okay, so we're just holding there. And then once you start to feel that fatigue, then you start to come up and through. So the reasoning for that, we're creating that length in the glute. So a lot of people's glutes are short and weak and tight. So you can have tight glutes but are actually weak and in a shortened position because you're sitting down all day. So this exercise is great. You get that length through the glute, but then you're actually able to contract and shorten like we would when we're moving around. All right, so that's the first exercise, guys, a split stance hip hinge. Now we've got a split squat, all right? So we do have a band, so you want to tie that around a pole or a squat rack, whatever you have, and you want it on the outside leg, all right? So it's going to be pulling my knee in like this. So coming around the front there, Leo. So this band is pulling me in there. So it's feeding the dysfunction. So if I've got a weakness and my knee's falling in as I'm running, this is going to help to ensure that we're activating the glute, all right? So the reasoning it's different is that we're in a split stance, not a bilateral stance. So we're trying to replicate like we would when we walk and run, but we're not allowing ourselves to fall into that knee, the knee to fall in there. So we want to still track over the second and third toes. So in this split lunge, we're just going to drop the back knee down towards the ground, hold in this position, and then we're starting to stand back up. Again, feeling that glute come through. All right, we're squeezing there, and through this whole range, we're not letting that knee bow inwards. So we're going to do this one for reps, so just nice and slow and controlled. A lot of people want to drop their knee down to the ground, and they want to try and do it really fast, but we want to control these exercises the whole way through, and already I've done 2 reps, and my glute is on fire here. So it just really gets it going, but we're also training the other muscles around there as well, not just isolating this glute, but we're feeling through the foot again. So we're starting to teach that foot and the glute the mechanics that we want as we're going through walking and running and training in the gym. All right, so we're slowly coming down, hold, keeping neutral spine again, keeping our joints stacked, keeping our ribs down. We're not flaring forward, and then dropping back down. All right, so you can do 3 sets of 10 on each side, so you should really start to feel the glute burning there, guys. Get onto it. So we're onto skaters now, so this is a more dynamic. We're getting to move lateral. All right, so we're in this split stance position again. My arms, so whichever leg's forward, opposite arm is forward, and we're going to propel ourselves sideways. So we push off, and then we've got to absorb through this glute, and then we push back the other way. All right, so you start off nice and slow, just do small ones. You just want to start to get your body in rhythm. We're moving side to side, but you've got to control and absorb through that ankle, knee, and hip, and not let everything wobble and fall out. So just start off nice and slow. You don't have to jump too high. You're staying low to the ground, imagining you're skating around on rollerblades, moving around like this. And we're just, again, dynamically loading up those glutes, and you start to really get a bit of fatigue. And then once you're a bit more confident, you can start to push off, and you've got to absorb through that glute. So you're starting to generate some power moving laterally, but then you've got to absorb with that other side. You can't just bow out and fall over. Again, you've got to have good ankle proprioception, so get the shoes off. I should have said that at the start with all these exercises, so you do have true feeling through your foot and ankle. All right, so moving sideways like this. Another variation you can do with skaters is, so you start here, and then we're going to do a fast foot, and then to the other side. All right, so fast feet here, and then out. All right, so just adding in a bit more dynamic movement there. And again, I can feel my glutes really burning here. So you can do sets of 10, sets of 20, and you can do up to 3 to 4 sets of these, all right? And another way you can progress it is you can get one of these half sort of Swiss balls, and you're gonna start to the side. Again, do this slow. A lot of people want to do it really fast and move, but you want to teach your body to absorb the weight and the pressure. So we come onto the Bosu and then push off. Hold, and push off and absorb. All right, so this glute is really getting loaded up here because I've got a bit of extra spring, and I've really got to be stable as I land. Absorb through that hip and knee and glute. All right, so it's all soft. I'm not landing with a rigid knee. So this is also teaching us, if we're playing sport, you've got to be soft through your knees. If you're rigid, you're going to increase your chance of having knee injuries and other soft tissue injuries, ligament damages, because that body's not ready to absorb, but then push off and go somewhere else. So yeah, it's really important to build up the integrity of your joints, but you also get good strength in your glutes. All right, so we're on to the last exercise, which is a one-arm dumbbell or kettlebell swing. So I'm going to start with no equipment for this one because a lot of people struggle to get this exercise right. So we want to finish in that position where we're in that split stance hip hinge, but it's a bit more dynamic. So imagine I would have a weight in this hand. We're just going to throw the arm out, and you'll want it to be nice and loose. You don't want to hold and be rigid here. So the arm comes out. As the arm comes out, my hip pushes back into that hip hinge. So my arms just flop, and then as it's coming back through, that's when I stand back up. So if I've got a weight, the arm's coming down, the weight's taking through there, and then when it's coming back up, that's when I'll step forward. All right, so I step back, the arm's coming through, and coming back up. And again, controlling through torso here and the abs, keeping strong. We're not just rounding through the mid-back and dumping everything out. So it's controlled, the hips shift back, but as the arm comes through, that's when I move. So the actual weight makes it easier. And if you're trying to fight it, this exercise will be hard. But if you just let the arm flow and make it a nice flowing movement, you'll get a lot better results. So I'm going to add the dumbbell in now, so you can see what it looks like. So starting here in a curl position, whichever leg is forward has the dumbbell in it, all right? The opposite arm. So we're gonna cast it out, dive over, I control through my back, and then as it's coming down, I'll come through, all right? So I'll do a few faster ones just so you can get an idea of what it looks like. So as the momentum comes through, my hips shift back. As the momentum comes back through, I shift my hips forward, all right? So again, staying soft through that knee, trying to end up in that split stance hip hinge that we taught you at the start, but then you're getting out of that position. So you, as they come back through, step through. All right, so again, we're trying to load up, get those slings connected, but you're getting more dynamic through here, and you're teaching your body how it needs to connect those muscles together. And we're getting a really good glute burn. Again, we're opening those tissues up, and then we're contracting and pushing through. All right, so rather than being really rigid and holding it and then trying to muscle it up, just let the arm flow, and as it moves, that's when you move. All right, so the weight almost guides you through where you need to go. All right, so again, start off slow, do 5 reps, but start off with no weight. Just get the movement pattern right, get your body moving nice and flow and fluid, and then you can start to add weights in and increase the reps, all right? So there it is, guys. There's 4 alternatives to the glute band that you can start adding into your programs. Give them a go. Thank you.